I just heard something downstairs.
Hi. Is anyone there?
Hobbit cup. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice and today I'm going to be doing my paranormal experiences video number 2. I have been wanting to do this video for probably over a year now since I recorded my last one last October, and I was supposed to record this video on Halloween, but for some reason I had so many technical difficulties I couldn't actually get the footage onto the laptop to even begin to edit. It is like crazy gloomy outside and I'm alone in the house. The vibes are correct. They're correct. So today I'm going to tell you about 2 paranormal experience stories in particular. They are quite long stories about some paranormal experiences that I remember so vividly, both quite recently in my life. And I know a lot of you aren't going to believe in ghosts and a lot of you do think these stories are fake. These are genuine experiences that I feel like have happened to me. I'm not even gonna do a disclaimer because people who are gonna be bonedy throners are gonna be bonedy throners in the comments anyway. I did record my first paranormal experiences video last year, and even though for some reason I'm whispering throughout the whole video, I don't really know why, but I will link that in the description anyway, just turn your volume up a little bit. Like I said, if you guys don't actually believe in ghosts, then that is totally okay as well. You can kind of just see these experiences as a bit of fun and there's nothing wrong with liking spooky stories, so yeah. I'm just going to hop right into the video and I really hope you guys enjoy. By the way, I feel really ill today, so if my voice does sound a little weird or suddenly go, that is why. So the first paranormal experience story that I have to tell you guys about today happened in 2014, I think. I went on holiday to Devon with my whole family, so my mum, my dad, my little sister, my older sister, my 3 cousins, my auntie, my uncle, and my boyfriend at the time. We stayed in this absolutely amazing, lovely house down this long stone road that leaded to the house, basically surrounded by trees and forest. It had an absolutely amazing garden and it was absolutely huge. I think it probably had 7 bedrooms. So this house also did feel extremely cold. You tend to have the feeling where you feel like you'd be in a room by yourself but you wouldn't feel like you'd be by yourself. Like if you were sitting at the table eating food, you would feel like someone would be sitting the opposite end of the table to you, watching you. So there was 2 crazy incidents for me that happened in this house. The first one took place halfway through the holiday. Me and my ex-boyfriend used to get left alone quite a lot in the mornings in the house because we used to wake up late and everyone used to kind of get out of the house around like 9ish and we used to sleep until around 11 and kind of get out of the house around 12ish. So there was 2 bathrooms in this house. There was one downstairs and there was one upstairs. And me and my ex-boyfriend were in the upstairs bathroom one morning. I was taking a bath and he was sitting on the side of the bath and we were just kind of having a chat, and I was sitting on my phone. I was just scrolling through Instagram and Twitter. In this bathroom, the bath was underneath a window, and since it was at the front of the house you could see all the way down the path that led to this house, and I vividly remember placing my phone on the windowsill and then getting out because we needed to get ready for the day. Upstairs, the bathroom was at the end of the corridor and our room was at the front of the corridor. We went into our room that we were staying in that's just our room. Back in the day, I had short hair, so it didn't really take me that long to get ready, probably like an hour or so. I was just doing my makeup in front of the mirror and we heard these footsteps up the stairs that we had been hearing throughout the week. But this time, obviously, we knew that nobody else was in the house. I just kind of looked at him and he looked at me and it was a kind of like odd moment of what the fuck was that, but we're just going to ignore it, and I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, what the fuck? And I just carried on getting ready. After I finished getting ready, I started to pack my stuff for the day. I was packing my camera, packing my purse, and then I suddenly came across that I had left my phone in the bathroom. So I asked my boyfriend at the time if he could go get my phone from the bathroom. He went to the bathroom and he came back and said, it's not there. And at this point, my boyfriend had been sitting on the bed the whole time that I was getting ready for the day. So none of us had gone downstairs, none of us had moved from the room. And I said, how is it not there? We were in the bathroom, it's not in the bedroom, so where could it be? I remember both of us being so crazy confused about how this had happened. We were searching through my room for it, we were searching the bathroom for it, and then I was like, you know what, can you just call my phone? Because it's gonna be so much easier if you just call my phone. To explain this to you, the downstairs bathroom was a very creepy place. I really disliked the downstairs bathroom, I hated using it, and it was downstairs in like the right hand corner of the house. You could just see the whole forest from it. The house was basically on a hill and you could just see down. In this bathroom there was a shower, then there was like a half wall, and behind the half wall was the toilet and like a little window. And I, more than anything, hated going to the toilet downstairs. You know when you feel like you need to just get out of a room? When I went into this downstairs bathroom, I just felt like I needed to get the fuck out of this room. So back to the story. He rang my phone and we both heard my phone come from downstairs. Both of us in this mindset knew that nobody else was home, neither of us had left the room since I was in the bathroom, and that I was definitely on the phone in the bath. It was impossible for this phone to be downstairs. So basically I asked my boyfriend in a bit of a panic to go downstairs and see where my phone was, and he was kind of looking for it, and then as I came downstairs behind him, he just pointed to the downstairs bathroom. That for me was like a really weird feeling because it was my least favourite room in the house. So I went into the bathroom behind my ex-boyfriend again. He just looked at me in like shock when we both realised the phone was behind the wall. So I told him that I had like creeped me out so much. I went behind the wall and it was on the windowsill behind this wall. I just got him to grab it and we just kind of packed our shit up and we just left the house. It was actually physically impossible for this phone to be downstairs, and as I recall, it was just like the weirdest thing ever. I had told my mum about this and she was a bit worried because my mum does believe in ghosts as well. It just felt kind of odd because my little sister was sleeping downstairs and she was the only one that was sleeping downstairs. There was another morning. It was a Saturday morning and it was our last day that we had there. And again, me and my ex-boyfriend woke up quite late and everyone had left the house. So my ex-boyfriend was taking a bath upstairs and I was downstairs and I was making us breakfast. I think I was making like croissants or something. I can't fucking cook for shit. I vividly remember like I just poured a cup of tea and I went to the fridge to get some milk. You know those toys that you like press the button and it makes a sound, or like you move it and it plays like a song or something like that? I was just about to get some milk out and I heard from my little sister's room one of these go off. It was kind of like the kids play area room and it had lots of toys in, and I sounded like something had like pressed a button or pushed it, and it made me jump so hard. I put the milk on the side and I went through to my little sister's room. This thing was like lighting up and stuff, but it looked like something had kind of just fallen on it. So I went upstairs to go see him and just speak to him and was just like, you know, this just happened. And as I was upstairs again while he was in the bath and I was speaking to him, I heard a shuffle down the bottom of the stairs, like someone was like running down the bottom of the stairs, and then I heard like a massive, it sounded like clutter of stuff falling. Both of us like jumped out of our skin and just turned and was like, what the fuck was that? But maybe me, I kind of like plucked up the courage. I went downstairs back to the kitchen to find everything that was on the table. So there was like brochures, old cups, my camera, my bag, everything on the table was on the floor, but the table was upright. So to me, it looked like someone had just placed their arm on the table, whipped everything off, and everything was just on the floor. And this was like not on the worktops, this was like on a different table that was also in the kitchen. And I just like froze up. I called my ex-boyfriend's name like countless amount of times. He came downstairs. He was also really creeped out, and he said to me after the holiday that he believes in ghosts now, and he really did not believe in ghosts at all before the holiday. I tend to speak to my mum about it sometimes here, and she said she heard a lot of the same things. So for my next paranormal experience story, this happened more recently. I'm gonna say 2015. Yeah, I think it was like the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. So the second story takes place in a different town to where I live at as well. Basically, one of my old friends who I don't actually in contact with anymore, I don't really even know the reason why, we just kind of lost contact like people do. A couple of years ago, I had this friend. I'm going to call her my cat's there, so we're gonna call her Mabel because that's the name of my cat. My friend Mabel, when her parents broke up, moved into a different house with her mum and her brother and her sister, and this house was an extremely old house. Now for a while, me and Mabel were like best friends. We did literally everything together, but a lot of the time she used to stay around my house because she used to say she really didn't like the house she lived in. Most of the time we did stay around my house, but I stayed around her house twice and never again. She didn't like staying in her house because she thought the house was haunted, and she said also a couple of times she thought she would see a man in the house when she was doing the washing up, and she said she saw someone standing in the back of her garden, and when she went outside to see who it was or asked her mum to go see who it was, there would be no one there. She also said that one day she had got home by herself and she thought she could see a man standing in the living room from the outside window. She really didn't like staying in a house, especially when her family was away or her family had gone out for the evening or something, so she did tend to stay around my house quite a lot. I'm going to tell you about the 2 incidents that happened at this house on the 2 nights that I stayed around her house, and I strongly believe this is probably a paranormal house that I've ever stayed in. So the first night that I stayed around her house, we were doing what we usually were doing. We would set up some mattresses in the downstairs living room, bring our covers down, bring pillows down, and we would watch movies in the living room. Made it into a bit of a nest. And this is just something that we would do at my house. But I stayed around her house when her parents had gone away. She is a couple of years older than me, so she could stay by herself at the house because I think she was 18 at the time and she didn't go because she had exams on. And she had a dog, and the dog didn't like coming into the living room. When you used to bring the dog into the living room, it used to get angry and growl like, I do not want to be here. So there was one night in particular where I had just started learning about tarot cards, and I had bought my tarots around, and she was really interested in them as well, so we were just doing them together. And when we were ready for bed, after we had watched a few horror movies and stuff, we just like tucked in. And at this house, the 2 nights that I stayed there, I had had really creepy dreams that have stuck with me for a very, very long time. I can remember like 80% of my dreams. When I first went to her, I think this was the first dream that I had a dream that I was in the middle of nowhere, in like this black world with just like a road, and it was just like a town that didn't have any houses but just roads that kind of winded around each other. And I had a dream that this old man was chasing me. He was in like a cape sort of thing. He had like just a typical old man face, and I'd get really far away from him, but for some reason there was like lampposts, and I'd just be able to see him standing far away from me to the lamppost, and he'd just chase me and chase me and chase me. And then when I found somewhere safe, I think I found like a little house in the middle of nowhere, I got into the house and a phone rang. I picked up the phone and it was the old man, and he said, "Gotcha." And he touched my head in the dream, and as he touched my head, it woke me up, and I actually felt like someone had touched my head. Doing what I always do, I feel safest when I put my covers over my head, and I kind of put myself in like a little croissant shape. And as I was under the covers, I just had this awful feeling like someone was looking at me through the covers. I just couldn't get this feeling out of my mind, and it was just the coldest, most horrible feeling you could imagine. So the second night that I'd slept there, which was a couple of days later, I think, because she was staying around my house as well, I told her about the dream and she thought it was creepy as fuck, so we stayed at my house for a couple of nights. And then we decided to go back to her house on the Friday because her parents were coming back to the house on the Saturday morning, so we thought we'd be there to kind of be like, "Hi, did you have a good trip?" blah blah blah. And even though despite what happened, I kind of just passed it off as a dream, since my dreams can be extremely vivid, like I've woken up feeling like I'm spinning before. Having weird dreams isn't out of the norm for me, even though it really did creep me out. So the second night I stayed there, I think we were watching like the oldest Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and we were chilling in bed with popcorn, and we had all the lights off and everything. We heard a clang in the kitchen, and I asked her, was her brother home, since her brother didn't go to Australia either. She said, no, he's gone to his girlfriend's tonight. Was like shook up. She was like, Harmony, what the fuck was that in the kitchen? She was like, you know, my brother's not here tonight. Me being me, since she seemed to be quite scared, and I, to get things out of the way, if I'm scared by something, I'd like to go confirm that it's not what we think it is. I walked through to the kitchen, and nothing I could see had moved, except from, you know those sensor lights that go on in the back garden? She had one of those sensor lights, and the sensor light in the back garden had gone on, so I could see the whole back garden. But I didn't tell her about it because I didn't want to creep her out, and I thought animals fucking run across gardens all the time, blah blah blah, probably nothing to worry about. So after a while, we probably went to sleep about 2ish. We were kind of staying up just speaking about stuff, and then we went to sleep. And for the second time, I had a nightmare, but this nightmare was extremely close to what she was going to tell me after this happened. I didn't know about her experience before I had this dream. In my dream, I had a dream that I was walking past her house, snowing. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, in the first dream it was snowing as well, and it was cold, it was snowing, and I was walking past her house. And her house in the living room have like little windows. They had been replaced with big ones that didn't have like the lines across. And in my dream, I was walking down a pavement, my whole body turned to look at her house, looked through the window and saw a man standing in the living room, like staring at me, and it was the same old man from my first dream. And this woke me up because for some reason in my dreams I can wake myself up. So I woke myself up. As the exact second that I woke myself up, I had a floorboard creak in this living room. This living room was pretty large, so we were kind of at the back of the far end of the living room, but the right hand corner next to the TV and in between the fireplace, and I heard something creak. And on the mattress I sat up a little bit. As I sat up, I heard another creak in the corner of the room. I looked over to the corner of the room. It looked like someone with really long arms just standing there, kind of swaying a little bit. He was just a really big, tall figure, and I could just see the shadow of this person standing in the corner of the room. The first thing that came to my mind was that someone was in the fucking house and that we were gonna be murdered. I sat up because it just looked like a fucking person just standing in the corner of the room. It felt like there was a human in the room with us two. Whatever this thing was in the room was not a good thing. Nothing about it felt safe, nothing about it felt happy. It was like the pure feeling of just dread. I'd never been so scared in all of my life. In the 5 seconds it took me to see this man, I shot up out of the bed, I went on, turned the light on, nothing was there. And my friend shot up out of bed, like she sat up and was like, "Are you okay?" I was close to tears. I told her what happened and we went to go sleep upstairs, obviously, and she was really shaken up. We slept in the same bed, we were like cuddling basically. She said she completely believed me because she on numerous occasions said that she thought that she had seen figures around the house, and I think I'm pretty sure I only got like an hour's sleep after that. But that was one of the moments of my life that I think is the closest I've ever come to having something paranormal like be in the presence of me. That was definitely one of the scariest. Oh, I'm like really shaken up after that. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I know I enjoyed recording it. For some reason I believe in ghosts, and if you don't, again, that's totally fine. Like, I don't really know why I do, but it's just been a massive part of myself since I've been a child. I don't know why, but it just has, and it's always felt like it's been something very close to me. And also I just wanted to quickly mention that all of you who watch my channel on a regular basis, my channel will not just be revolved stuff like in like kind of creepy, spooky stuff or stuff to do with Wicca all the time. Just for some reason my last few videos and my next few videos will kind of be to do with that, because it has taken me a lot of courage to begin to speak about Wicca on my channel, which is why there's probably been quite a few videos about it recently, since you guys seem really into it. I still want to do the beauty stuff, I still would like to do the hair stuff and do other things other than this as well, so don't worry if you guys subscribe to me for like makeup or other stuff, still will be doing that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this spooky video. I hope you're all having a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video.